Are we feeling confident about the rookie tight end situation? Or is the lack of noise surrounding Eli Stowers a red flag for our Philadelphia Eagles offense? The rookie had a quiet spring despite expectations for him to complement Dallas Goedert in our new system. This development is fascinating because while his athleticism is undeniable, he is still fighting to prove he can handle the blocking demands required to see the field. And honestly, the more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your city below. Let's get into it. Rookie tight end Eli Stowers has arrived in Philadelphia with plenty of promise, yet his relatively quiet spring is leaving us with more questions than answers regarding his exact role this season. Selected in the second round, the Vanderbilt product is viewed as the long-term heir apparent to veteran star Dallas Goedert by 2027. We know that new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion is prioritizing a Shanahan or McVay-style scheme, which relies heavily on 12 and 13 personnel groupings to keep defenses guessing. While his explosive athleticism as a former quarterback is undeniable, Stowers needs to prove he can handle the physical blocking duties required of a modern tight end. This is where it gets real, because his lack of standout moments during the no-pad spring camp feels slightly concerning for such a high draft pick. Eagles fans are naturally anxious, fearing a one-dimensional offense if he cannot master the technical blocking skills that Johnny Munt already provides. However, we have to remember that he spent his downtime at Tight End University and traveled to train directly with Jalen Hurts, showing a level of maturity that is vital for building chemistry with our quarterback. The transition from a college quarterback at Texas A&M to a reliable professional is a difficult road, and his work ethic at 6'4" and 239 pounds suggests he has the right frame to succeed. We are watching a young man trying to find his footing in a sophisticated system, but the pressure to contribute early is mounting. If Stowers fails to bridge the gap between his passing game potential and his blocking responsibilities, how will the front office adjust the rotation to prevent opposing defenses from stacking the box against our run game during the early weeks of the season? The most surprising aspect of Eli Stowers' development is that he actually spent his downtime training at Tight End University, a move signaling his intense commitment to mastering the position after switching from quarterback. This transition started at Texas A&M, where he sharpened the passing skills that now make him such a fascinating prospect for us. The front office likely views this second-round pick as a calculated investment in our future, specifically aiming for 2027 as his breakout year to succeed Dallas Goedert. Behind closed doors, Nick Sirianni and Sean Mannion are clearly prioritizing long-term versatility over immediate, flashy results, which explains why they remain patient despite the quiet spring performance. We have seen the Eagles struggle in the past when relying too heavily on one-dimensional threats, so the coaching staff is likely challenging Stowers to prove he can handle the gritty, technical blocking required in this new Shanahan and McVay-influenced scheme. The bottom line here is that his physical profile, standing at 6'4" and 239 pounds, provides the perfect canvas for this coaching staff to build a modern weapon. Building that crucial rapport with Jalen Hurts is perhaps the most vital step he took this summer, especially considering our quarterback's tendency to take time before fully trusting new targets on the field. While some might worry that he lacks standout moments, we must remember that true professional onboarding is a slow process that rarely crystallizes during no-pad sessions in the spring heat. If he can bridge the gap between his athletic gifts and the technical discipline required in the trenches, he will secure his place as a cornerstone of our offense. It is a bold plan, yet the maturity he demonstrates at only 23 years old suggests he is fully prepared for the high expectations we hold for our next great tight end. The integration of Eli Stowers into the Philadelphia Eagles offense is the most compelling storyline for our team as we prepare for the grind of a long season under Nick Sirianni. This transition is not just about a rookie finding his footing. It represents a fundamental shift in how we attack opponents as new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion implements a scheme inspired by the modern heavy personnel looks seen in Los Angeles or San Francisco. By prioritizing 12 and 13 personnel packages, we are effectively shortening the shelf life of Dallas Goedert's solo act while preparing for the 2027 transition. The part fans are not ready for is how this tactical adjustment forces Jalen Hurts to build trust with a newcomer during the most critical windows of the regular season. If Stowers proves he can handle the blocking load, the team maintains its versatility, but a lack of development could force our coaching staff into predictable play calling. This roster move directly impacts the depth chart, as the balance between Johnny Munt's technical blocking and Stowers' explosive athleticism will dictate how we manage the interior of the field against division rivals. As we face tough games in the coming months, having a dual-threat tight end alignment will be the difference between being a balanced, dangerous unit or one that opposing defenses can easily solve with simple coverage adjustments. Securing this chemistry now is essential, especially after Stowers spent his offseason at tight end university and traveled to work specifically with Hurts. If these extra reps pay off, our playoff ceiling rises significantly because we gain the ability to mask our intentions, making the Eagles a far more difficult matchup for every opponent we face on our road back to the postseason. We are betting big on this young man's maturity and his physical upside to carry the offense forward. The potential for rookie tight end Eli Stowers to revitalize our offensive attack under the new scheme implemented by Sean Mannion is truly compelling. By embracing a strategy modeled after the system seen in Los Angeles and San Francisco, our team aims to weaponize 12 and 13 personnel packages. Stowers, standing 6'4" and weighing 239 pounds, offers the raw athleticism necessary to create mismatches that force defenses into difficult coverage decisions. Think about it this way. By pairing him early with a proven veteran like Dallas Goedert, we are essentially grooming our future at the position while simultaneously testing the rookie in a high-stakes environment. The upside here is clear, as his rapid transition from a college quarterback to a polished receiving threat suggests a high football IQ and a dedicated work ethic that already includes extra reps with Jalen Hurts and time at tight end university with veterans like Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Greg Olsen. However, we must acknowledge the legitimate concerns regarding his development. John McMullen of Eagles on SI points out that his quiet spring is somewhat alarming, especially given that a no-pad camp setting should have showcased his speed. If Stowers cannot master the technical blocking skills that a player like Johnny Munt provides, the offense risks becoming predictable whenever the rookie steps onto the field. While some analysts praise his maturity, I find the hype surrounding his immediate impact slightly overblown for a player still learning the nuances of the professional game. Here's where I land on this. We should temper our expectations for September because, historically, the adjustment period for tight ends is notoriously slow regardless of their physical gifts. If he can prove himself as a blocker during the upcoming training camp, then I will be the first to jump on board. But for now, patience remains the most prudent path forward for this franchise. As we look toward the future under head coach Nick Sirianni and owner Jeffrey Lurie, the strategic shift toward a Shanahan and McVay-style offense signals a long-term evolution for our team. By prioritizing personnel groupings with multiple tight ends, the organization is clearly preparing for a new era where versatility dictates success. Drafting a second-round talent like Eli Stowers is a clear commitment to securing an heir apparent for Dallas Goedert by 2027. What makes this even bigger is the maturity Stowers already shows through his work ethic and extra study sessions in Nashville and Florida with Jalen Hurts. You should feel optimistic because we are witnessing a deliberate transition that emphasizes team chemistry and developmental depth over immediate flashy results. While his spring performance was quiet, remember that the rookie onboarding process is a grind that usually hits its stride once training camp pads go on. His background as a former quarterback provides a unique football intelligence that complements his 6'4" and 239-pound frame, giving the coaching staff a perfect building block for the modern game. We are seeing a front office that plans years ahead, ensuring that our window for contention remains wide open as veteran stars eventually pass the torch to the next generation of talent. This patient approach is exactly what a championship-caliber franchise requires to stay ahead of the competition. Given the need for tight end chemistry, do you believe Eli Stowers will have a larger impact in the passing game than Johnny Munt this season? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel Fly Eagles Fly. I'll see you in the next one.